Today, I want to talk about managing objections. And a lot of you have probably heard this term, and it gets talked about a lot. There are sales books on just managing objections, there are sales trainings on managing objections. I get asked a lot to help people with the first phone call. And many times people want me to start with managing the objections. And it's been a long journey to get to what I'm going to share with you because there is only one way. There's truly only one way to manage all objections. Okay. And I'm going to share that with you. What's interesting about objections is objections are what come up at the end of the phone call. So it's always interesting that people say, I want to learn and catch this word, manage objections. I'm like, why would you want to be on the phone for 8 minutes and wait for an objection and put all this time, money, and energy in investing into managing that objection? And what I've learned over the time is that objection has arose, has reared its ugly head because something has been missed in the process. That's the takeaway. The number one way to manage objections is to be a slave to the process. Own the process, own the phone call, own the script, own the conversation that you're about to get on, and know how to have it so well that you follow it 100% of the time. And while you're following the process, you are probably bringing up the objection before the person, the client, the potential patient on the other side of the phone brings it up, right? Anything you can think of as an objection, I can show you in a process how we can bring it up first and address it. And it typically falls into managing and setting expectations. So my challenge to you is get out of this, how do we manage objections? Because sadly enough, I've seen people and I've helped people want me to train someone in their script. And they give me their script. And it's 3 pages long. It's 4 pages long, which starts to get a little dicey because no script should be 3 or 4 pages long. And then when objections come up during this training, I get back on the call and they say, oh, we'll work on this stuff. And then there's another paragraph, another page. I'm like, this is never going to solve the problem. Talking more is not ever part of a process. Because what you heard me say is you bring the objection up first. And usually the objection is in the form of a question. So Jerry, how would you like to pay for this? So I'm going straight to the objection, the cost, before you bring it up. And I ask you, how would you like to pay for this? Right? And many times the way to manage that objection is bring it on head first and ask that question. So is there anybody else, Jerry, now that we've had this conversation, now that you know what you'll get for your time, money, and energy, now you know your costs, is there anybody else we should consider that needs to be brought into this conversation? So I just cut off at the pass. I got to talk to my wife. I got to talk to my spouse. I got to talk to my family. I got to talk to someone else. And you do that when you have the confidence in the process you are delivering. And the process you are delivering needs to share and deliver the value that you can give to someone on the other end of the phone that is a potential patient or client based on their problems, their expectations, their needs, their wants. So in order to get their needs, their wants, their expectations, I have to be asking a lot of questions. I have to be listening to those answers. And then I need to thread those answers back into my value equation and tell you how, yes, you've chosen the right place. And I build the value, build the value, build the value. Then by the time I bring up, how do you want to pay? If you say it's going to be expensive, that's not an objection. Sorry. If you understand what you're going to get for your money and you tell me it's too expensive, that's not an objection. That's a statement. And what I'm going to do is double back with you and make you go back through the conversation we just had to reaffirm from my end that you heard all the value that you're going to get for your money. And when we get to the cost, I'm going to say, so tell me what part of this that I just explained is expensive. And all I'm going to make you do is walk yourself back through it and make sure you're making the best choice for yourself.